Coach, what has really stood out about Mason Ryder's performance here, and just what has he had to do this season?
He's had an outstanding camp so far. I held him out today just because of an injury, but he had put a product on tape for like 10 practices that was a high level. The guy's a great football player. He's got unbelievable feel. I'm not sure there's a job he can't do. You know, he stops the run in C gap. Sometimes we bump him down and then we drop him, and man, he is great, and he's a hard charger, and he's got a chip on his shoulder, I think, being a former walk-on, at the previous institution, he's got a chip on his shoulder. So, man, he's been the most productive guy in camp out of my room. It's been impressive.
Any concern with the injury at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And really, probably more than anything, his position coach is just protecting him more than anything. Like, he probably could have taken some reps today, but he's put enough on tape that I want to make sure that he's a player that's a little bit older, played a lot of ball and put a product on tape, so I'm not concerned with it.
When you look at your room and you got some long physical athletes,
Yep.
and Sebastian Cheeks may not fit that mold of a lot of the guys you brought in.
Yeah.
What is it about him that just makes him able to continue to produce out there?
Yeah, I think Sebastian's move from inside linebacker to edge has been really, really beneficial for him, and been beneficial obviously for us. He's got a really good get off. He puts a lot of pressure on tackles with his get off, on third down. But I think probably the biggest factor, he's really, really intelligent on first and second down. And so put him out there to the edge. He sets good edges. We drop him once in a while. We bring him under. We just do different things with him, and he's got a really good feel and is smart about backfield sets and things like that. So I'm happy for him. It's been a twisting path, a winding path, but he's found a home, not just in Wisconsin, but in a position I think suits him well. And like you said, we've got a lot of different body types in there. Maybe not the prototypical in terms of the length, but as good as you get in terms of some athleticism and get off.
At this point, how many people do you feel comfortable with? It's sort of a staple question
Yeah,
every year, but it's different every year too.
Well, I think the thing that's unique about my position group is we do have a lot of different body types. So when you start with workhorse, Darrell Peterson, and then you have Corey Walker, who's coming back off a little bit of back and has practiced the last couple days and has shown some flashes, a little rusty. Got to get Mike Garner back. We have some big dudes, dudes that weigh 280 pounds. And then you got some guys that are really twitchy and can do some stuff with speed. You talk Sebastian, Tyrese, Nick Clayton has really flashed the last couple days in that. And so, I have a diversity of body types, a diversity of skill sets. So we will match, our people versus their people, And even Aaron Wade is showing great leadership. He's just primarily playing our star position, but he knows a lot of the stuff, and he's played a lot of ball. And so, I think the difference between last year and we've made a lot of improvements from year 1 to year 3. I think the biggest improvements have been just the recruitment of different body types and talents to match some of the different things. Whether you're playing, you got to play Oregon, and that's a specific style of play, and you got to play Iowa. I think we've got better equipped to handle some of those edges.
You're mentioning Nick Clayton, so showing some flashes.
Yeah.
Kind of as a young guy like him, what do you kind of see as the next step for him?
Yeah, I really trust him on third down. Really trust him third down. Now I do have some better pass rush, I believe. We'll see if it shows up on tape. Better pass rush when you talk about Cheeks, when you talk about Fearby, Mason Ryder, those are good pass rushers. Tyrese is, he's still learning to fit within the scheme of our defense, but when he goes to one-on-ones and pass rush, he's really good. So I think the biggest thing with Nick is that, talking about bodies, maybe if Nick's fresh on third down and a couple of those guys are gassed, maybe we have some opportunities, and then I'm really pressing him on special teams as a true freshman to try to get a kickoff return, punt block, get on all these different schemes so he can get that experience and help us. And so when those moments come in the Big Ten, it's it's not too big.
Where have you seen Fearby maybe grow the most from what you saw in spring to now?
Yeah.
The flashes may be happening more often now.
It is happening more often. I think the biggest thing, Tyrese plays hard, plays good effort. He's got edge. He's got a tremendous amount of edge. Like, he wants to inflict a little bit of hurt on some people. We need that in our room. Give you a bunch of nice guys. But I think the thing that's improved is just the pre-snap discipline, the pre-snap techniques. I know he can go, but sometimes he was frenetic and going, but wasn't within the scheme of being 111th of our defense. I think Tyrese is now more engaged with this. What I got to do is my assignment and buying in to be 111th for the defense. Still bring that edge, still bring that get off, still bring that violence, still bring all those attributes, but make sure it's in the framework of the other 10 guys.
You got that competition going on the kicker right now?
We do. Yep.
We see the makes and misses when you're out here doing field goals.
We tried it all.
What are some of the things that you're maybe judging that we don't get to see or that is a factor as well?
Yeah, I think we have a tremendous amount of trust in both guys and field goals and extra points. I think the thing we're trying to take a look at is the kickoff thing too. Obviously Lam last year did a great job. We had 13 returnable kicks in a 12-game schedule. But Vacos has really improved over the summer in terms of his hang time and distance on the kicks. And so it's a heck of a competition. Do we use 2 or do we go the specialty route like we did use 2 in the specialty route, or do we have one guy that kind of handles those duties and potentially, see what options are moving forward for a program. We got to win at 25, but what does 26 look like too? So we got to sort that out. I would say a punter. We also have competition. Sean West, the freshman, has done a really good job. He's done a really good job. He's putting heat on Atticus, So we do feel fortunate. We got 3 specialists on our watch list. Nick Levy, the transfer's come in from Purdue, has done a phenomenal job. That is an upgrade in terms of the blocking, the protection things. Feel really good about him. And then Goodman, who we brought in from Tulane, has done a really good job too. So I think the thing this year that we have depth at specialists. So you always cross your fingers a little bit with specialists in terms of injuries, but I feel like we're better equipped to handle that from the specialist position.
I'll return with a question.
It was.
How are you feeling about that, and Tyrell?
We're making progress there. I think the 3 guys that we're repping back there would be Tyrell, Vinny Anthony, and JB Ballard. And we're looking for guys that got great communication, get the thing vertical. It's definitely something that we need to continue to work on camp. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And then you also have to factor in, if we do use Vinny, Vinny was really good for us, on kickoff return last year. We were top 20 in the nation in kickoff return last year, and Vinny was a part of that. But you also be worried about, same guy doing returner, and he's obviously going to play on offense. So we're still working through the kick returner spot too. Probably kick returner will be a little bit more dependent. Those are easy to catch based on what happens in the punt returner situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Numbers can be deceiving, but if you look at TFLs and sacks, those are down, not where you want them to be.
No, it was bad.
Do you feel like from a personnel standpoint, maybe even a mindset standpoint, feel better equipped this year?
I do feel better equipped. You're right. We were dead last in tackle for lost. And we own that. I own that. Our defensive staff owns that. We were not where we needed to be on that. So I think it's a combination of factors to try to improve that. And we're on a path doing that. One, talent. Talent is a factor, but talent alone is not a factor. Someone has to do with the scheme. The schemes are running. We've changed some of our defensive schemes, okay? And then the third thing is techniques and fundamentals, and I think we've made progress on all those. So again, I am an optimistic person, but I'm also a realist, okay? I'm a realist about things going, but we have shown more disruptive plays with our defensive front. Between Coach Whitlow's interior guys and my guys on the edge, there has been more disruption. There has been real disruption in fall camp, and we need that to carry over. We get in the Big Ten schedule and non-conference too. It's got to start the right way.
When you're talking to kickers about maybe adding kickoffs versus place kicking, do they have to condition or train differently in summer?
It can be tough a little bit. You can get a lot of, you wouldn't think it, but doing X-point field goals and kickoffs, there's some load on that. So you have to be careful. I think the biggest thing is we got to be smart throughout the course of the week. We got to be smart throughout the course of the week. Having 2 guys is a benefit, but we're just still trying to figure out what gives us the best option.
How soon would you like that competition to be wrapped up?
I think we have another week of camp back at Camp Randall, and I think we got to do a really good job being, really have a decision probably made, let's say Friday, probably by next Sunday, try to figure out what the path we're going, just to be fair to the kids.
And say with Holder, just how are you feeling there too?
The guys all love Atticus as the holder. They all absolutely love Atticus. So whether it's Lom or Vacos, they have a tremendous amount of love there. And most college football programs, if you're punters or holders, it's a good thing because they can work on the side. You don't have to take a positional player to do that. And Atticus is a pretty good athlete, so God forbid something happens, I think we'll be able to manage the snap because he's a pretty good athlete.
Did I see Matt Young take one yesterday?
Yep, a little bit. Yeah, okay. Matt Young's taking some. We're just trying to prepare. Trying to prepare that way. And again, not down on Sean's holding ability, but Matt's played a tremendous amount of football. Obviously, I'm a lower level guy. Coach D3, D2. I got a soft spot in my heart for lower level dudes. You know what I mean? Whether it's a Nizer Fort Queen or JVR Suggs, I love Matt Young. Okay, good football players are good football players. I don't care if they came from D3 Buffalo. They're good football players. He's put that on tape. So we're just trying to have some options for a really talented football player that's done it in his past, and also as a coach's kid and understands that situation.
Obviously. As far as the punt return goes, were the issues just at return, or were there some other things?
It was a combination. It was a combination of the return. Also, there's also a combination too of some of our hold-up guys on the edges. Out on the anti-gunners, the 2 guys gunning down. I don't know that we had as good a hold-up as we needed last year to try to keep people clean out of their face. So I think it's a combination of everything. But obviously, I thought Hunter came in and did a great job, and obviously he's killing with the Colts right now. I read on Twitter. But we have to have guys' confidence that people are not in their face when it's an opportunity to try to catch balls. So it's on all of us. But at the same time, we can't ever put a ball on the ground. And unfortunately, here, just to be transparent, but a few times that's happened in camp, and it just can't happen. We got to make sure we do that first.
Obviously, you have a long relationship with Nizer.
Yep.
How is he handling?
Nizer's handled like a champion. I'm not really involved in the legal or the NCAA case at all. I've just been there as a support system because I've known the kid for 6 years. And I give him a tremendous amount of credit. He's going down on a scout team right now and playing corner on a scout team. That's the guy who started in Wisconsin. He's down there playing corner, and we're giving him some 2 reps. Planning on him not being here, but preparing him, and if something ends up happening, which is way out of my lane there, all I can do is just be a support system for him. I've had multiple conversations with him, and just if he needs anything, I'm there for him. Obviously, I love the kid, you know, I'm hoping for the best. But I also say that he's got his head on straight. If something doesn't work out, he'll be okay. We'll keep him around this program, and he'll be a positive influence.